First, though, to Rangers and the news that Alfredo Morelos has been dropped from the squad for the crucial Champions League qualifier second leg against PSV because of his attitude and his fitness levels. Pleased to say we've got Chris Boyd joining me for reaction. What do you make of this news, Chris?
I think it's pretty sad, to be honest, Hayley, that someone who you would consider to be Rangers talisman, especially with a big European game tomorrow night, that hasn't been towing the party line as such. From a Rangers point of view, I think everybody will be, gutted that he's let himself down, he's let his teammates down, and Rangers have decided to act. I think it shows leadership from Giovanni van Bronckhorst. The only thing I will say is I think it's probably took a week or so longer to do than I expected from what I was hearing. But, again, no one is bigger than Rangers Football Club. And Giovanni van Bronckhorst has acted because, Alfredo Morelos has been nowhere near the level of fitness, to get back to the level that he was when Gio first came in at Rangers.
Letting people down, teammates, of course, most importantly. And our understanding is that Van Bronckhorst consulted various senior players within his squad who all unanimously backed the decision. I mean, what do you make of that? What does that tell you?
Well, I think that tells us that, as a player, the last thing you want to be seen as is a bad teammate. Everybody speaks about, the levels of players, the level of your ability, the level of your fitness, whatever. But, the most important thing is be a good teammate. And, I think when Giovanni van Bronckhorst has consulted with senior players, it tells us one thing, Hayley, that Alfredo Morelos is either, turning up late for training, refusing to do stuff, being a hindrance to the squad as such. And when your teammates are saying, I go with the manager, when you look at it from a manager's point of view, there's sometimes you get clashes with players. But, when your players are outing you as an issue, a problem, then I think that's where, it's really sad. Or I know I would be if I was a football player, if I was a player in a dressing room and I was the one who was being outed as a bad teammate, that would really hurt me.
There are talks over a new contract. We believe that's now been put on hold. We're also told there is still a future for Morelos at Ibrox if he proves his commitment. I mean, do you think he will stay? How could you possibly turn this around?
Well, it's pretty simple. I think Rangers have got someone there who they feel as if they can sell for money. There's no doubt about that. A fit and firing Alfredo Morelos is an asset. He's someone who has shown over a period of time that when he is on his game, it can cause teams problems. Europe domestically as well. So he's someone who is a bit of an enigma as such. But it's a difficult one to say that he can't come back into the Rangers team because if he knuckles down and gets himself fit, and I think that's the key thing here, he's nowhere near the level of fitness. People will say he's had a long injury. He's been back training now for over a month. There is no reason to be in the condition he is in. I think for Alfredo Morelos, he needs to knuckle down, get himself fit, and I'm sure he could potentially force his way back into Giovanni van Bronckhorst's thinking. But as I said, it shouldn't come to something like this for you to kickstart your career again, because, as I said, it's something that's it's becoming a problem. And I think, Rangers deserve a lot of credit for dealing with it. But it'll be how the striker responds now. When you go back to Čolak coming in, Alfredo, and I listen to people saying, you need game time to get fit. Those days are gone. The data and everything tells you in terms of the level of fitness you're training at on a daily basis, what level of fitness you're at. Waiting until you get games to get fit is a thing of the past. Antonio Čolak has come in and shown that he's Rangers' main man at this moment in time. Whether Alfredo Morelos is down tools, he's not up for the fight. That's what it seems to be at this moment in time. And until Alfredo realises that he's got a fight on his hand and he needs to train properly every single day, train properly and live his life properly away from the training ground, Ibrox, then there might be an opportunity for him to come back in. But as I said, it's going to be very difficult.
I mean, having worked on Scottish football all those years ago, even then there was talk, I remember, that every single winter he's going to be leaving, he's going to be going every summer, every January. Does it feel like now, though, these discussions that we're having during the window and with his attitude, that it is maybe just the right time for him to go, not just for him, but for Rangers and the morale of the team and the spirit that they're going to need?
I think you always want a good dressing room, and if you're being a hindrance in that dressing room, then you don't want them in it. So, the players have spoken. They've decided that enough's enough. The manager has obviously had his say. He's consulted with his dressing room because, that's the most important thing at a football club. Managers will come and go. The dressing room will always be there. So you need to be able to control that. Or the dressing room needs to control what's going on. And Alfredo Morelos, it doesn't seem to be in that bubble as such right now with them. In terms of the transfer, Haley, it's a difficult one because when you look at it, Alfredo Morelos has seemed to be linked away with a move every single transfer window. Nothing has materialised. I know Rangers have obviously been hoping for big money, and as I said, because of his performances in Europe, that you can understand why. But from what I'm led to believe, I don't think there has been any offers put on the table for Rangers, or they probably would have accepted the money for him, because this has been ongoing for a number of months now, and there's been nobody came forward with money for Alfredo Morelos, hence the reason why he's still there. This is the first time he's faced a challenge in terms of 9 times out of 10 he's came back in and he's been put back in ahead of probably schedule, and he's been able to get his fitness there. But as I said, Čolak's in the building now and he's struggling to get back in, and this is the way Alfredo Morelos has decided to go about his business. Whether he's spat the dummy out, as I said, where he's not training properly, not living his life properly, turning up late, as I said, we don't know. But when your players and your managers have acted the way they've acted, that suggests to me that there must be something in that.
Just how big a job is it going to be to replace him if he goes?
I think Rangers, it'll probably depend on what happens tomorrow night for Rangers. I mean, I've always said I think they need another striker in the building anyway. If this, what's happened in the last few hours would suggest to me that they probably need another two, because, I think that, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, his patience is probably being tested to the max now with Alfredo. I always thought Rangers need another one in. From what I'm led to believe, Kemar Roof will be due back as well. So there's somebody else coming back. Čolak's the man that's in charge of that central role right now for Rangers. But, just in the eve of this big game tomorrow night, but I think if Rangers have to get through tomorrow, I would imagine they'll go to the transfer window and try and bring in another couple. But it'll depend on what happens, tomorrow night. But when you look at the numbers there in terms of Alfredo's goals, I mean, it's an outstanding return. There is no doubt about it. It is an outstanding return. And it is a sad indictment of where we're at right now, because we should be speaking about the positives and the goals and what he's done for Rangers Football Club. But there is always this other side to Alfredo where you think, the discipline side, the red cards, obviously this has materialised, that we always seem to be, speaking about the negatives surrounding Morelos, and it's no good for anyone at the football club.
And just fine, I mean, it'd be a bit sad if it really ends like this, given, as we've seen there, the impact that he has had.
Yeah, it will. But, I touched on it earlier, Haley. There is no one bigger than Rangers Football Club, no player. There has been better strikers than Alfredo Morelos left the football club in the past, and they've replaced them, and they've went on from there. As it stands right now, he's not even Rangers' number one striker. So, yes, because of what he's done in the past, but you can't live in the past. It's been and gone. Rangers need to look to the future. I said, they have a big game tomorrow night. Depending on what happens there, then, I would imagine they'll go back to the transfer market, because this can't continue. There's been episodes in the past where you think, Rangers have been lenient with Alfredo, but because of, that goal return that we've seen there, because of the lack of competition he's had in the last few years, he's always found a way to get back in. But this time it just feels different, and you feel as if this has been a build-up for a number of months now, that Rangers have decided to act on this, plain and simply because whatever has been going on, as I said, whether it's been late for training, not training properly, not in a condition to perform on a pitch on a Saturday, turning up late for meetings and everything, whatever has been going on, it has came to a head now. And I'll repeat it again, no one is bigger than Rangers Football Club.
And just finally there, I mean, what next for him? Where is he going to go, and who's going to pay the kind of money that you'd think Rangers would want? He's still 26 years old, but he's yet to start a game. He does have this discipline problem that you've mentioned. It's already been carried through to this season already as well, on the pitch as well as off it. His stock has fallen somewhat. Where does he go?
I don't know. I really don't know. As I said, you've been continuously linked with a move away from Rangers every single transfer window. Nothing's materialised. And what I will say is on that, the world of football is a small place. Somebody will always know someone, and they'll pick the phone up and they'll ask exactly how people are as a character. When you look at the data that's available to clubs now, they know absolutely everything that's going on with players. They know everything. And as I said, when you look at that goal scoring return there should have been, teams knocking down the door for Rangers to get, business done regarding Alfredo Morelos. So for whatever reason, it's not materialised. Maybe, Alfredo's agent has been trying to force things through as well. We don't know. And who's to say that this might not be, the last throw of the dice to say, for Rangers just to wash their hands with it, because it's now coming to a stage where this can't go on. There's no doubt about it. When you're not performing on the field, that can happen. People have dips in form now. But when you start to, there's nothing, as I said earlier, there's nothing to stop you being a good teammate. And when your teammates are outing you for whatever you have done, then you've got an issue. And as I said, will teams want to buy or look at Alfredo Morelos? Yeah, maybe the benefit of doubt because of what he's done in the past. But at this moment in time, it doesn't look good, because when he was fit and firing all cylinders, he still couldn't get a move. He's not playing right now. He's not scoring goals. He seems to be out of condition. Looking at him, and obviously this is now happened as well. So as I said, the world of football knows exactly what's going on. It's going to be very difficult for Rangers to shift Alfredo Morelos. But as I said, there's one man can change this, and it's Alfredo Morelos. If he knuckles down, gets himself fit, gets himself back in that the squad, and then he can start to build from there. Strikers have done it in the past. And it's easier for a striker to do, because if you can get yourself fit and start scoring 1 or 2 goals, everybody's looking for a goal scorer. There might be an opportunity to get back in here. But as I said, it's a long way for that right now, plain and simply because of the fitness issues.
Yeah, thank you for your insight, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.